And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we do get into today's video, as always, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. So I hope you guys are all okay. We've got a lot to go through in today's video, as you can tell by the title, a massive Celtic transfer twist. We'll go over that story in just a moment, but of course news broke last night, which we discussed in yesterday's video, about Celtic agreeing a deal with Adam Idah and with Norwich City. Now, at the time, I wasn't too sure on what the transfer fee was. I was saying it was close to £6 million, and then shortly afterwards the video dropped and the transfer fee was actually announced on social media, to a lot of Celtic fans' dismay. And to my own disappointment as well, £9.5 million in total from Adam Idah is quite ridiculous in my opinion. Of course, I will back the player no matter what when he comes to the club. I'll support him no matter what. I wanted him at the club. I was advocate for him to come to Celtic and sign on a permanent deal. But £9.5 million, we really have had our pants pulled down here. It's quite a lot of money. It's our record-breaking transfer fee paying to a club for a player. Of course, this is the current market of football, but I feel like there's a lot of money to spend on a player that doesn't really, or isn't really valued at his current team as well in the Championship, Norwich City. Of course, it's £8.5 million up front with £1 million in additional add-ons. And to kind of put the cherry on top as well, Norwich City have a 15% sell-on fee as well. So when Celtic do sell Adam Idah, hopefully for profit in the future, they get 15% of that as well. So really, Norwich have had an absolute blinder here. They've done really, really well to get that money out of Celtic, and I feel like we've had our pants pulled down here massively. So initially we offered £4 million for him right at the start. That was swiftly rejected, of course, and we went away for a few weeks, looked at other options, couldn't really find anyone else apparently, so we went back for Adam Idah again, and then we agreed a fee for £8.5 million plus £1 million in add-ons. Look, it's a lot of money. It's not coming out of my pocket, but I feel like we could have got someone different or someone better for that amount of money, or definitely negotiated a fee lower than that for Adam Idah as well. Again, this all goes back to poor recruitment last January as well. I mean, it was a panic signing in January. Of course, it worked out in our favour, which is obviously great, but the initial deal was a loan deal and there was no buy option at the end of it, and that's really come back to bite us in the arse, because if we loaned him with a buy option of around £4 million, then we could have signed him for £4 million, which I think is probably around his valuation at that point. Of course, he had a great season with Celtic for the 6 months, so his valuation skyrocketed, and then Norwich City ended up the ones being laughing at the situation, as they do recoup 8.5 plus £1 million for Adam Idah. Look, he'll be signed as a Celtic player soon. It'll be officially announced by the club very, very soon, and hopefully he can kick on and start to recoup some of that money we paid for him, and recoup that faith that a lot of Celtic fans have shown in him throughout the whole of last season. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that transfer as a whole. It's very, very interesting. It's a 5-year contract till 2030 as well, so it's a long time he'll be here, and hopefully he can do a very good job for us this season. Of course, we needed another striker. Kyogo was the only fit striker in the first team for this season, so definitely was a much needed signing. And I'm happy it's done, but not happy with the transfer fee. Now, let's get into the main story of today's video. And again, sorry to keep repeating myself, guys, but it is that man, Matt O'Reilly. But things are twisting and turning with this transfer saga, because it's been reported now Brighton have dropped out of the race to sign Matt O'Reilly, because they have just signed Brajan Gruda from Mainz in a deal worth £25 million. So the arrival of Gruda, a highly rated young midfielder, signals Brighton's intent to bolster their squad, but also likely closes the door on any move for O'Reilly. Gruda, who slots into a familiar role as O'Reilly would have filled, leaves little room, both in terms of budget and squad space, for another high-profile midfield signing. So O'Reilly, who remains under contract at Celtic until 2027, has been a hot commodity this summer, with several clubs circling. However, it's understood that the player himself isn't in any rush to leave the Glasgow Giants, particularly if the destination isn't a Champions League club. While Atalanta, another club heavily linked with the Dane, can offer top-tier European football, Brighton cannot, a factor that might have influenced the decision to shift their focus. So, Brighton are no longer in the race to sign Matt O'Reilly, which is a massive, massive twist. And not only that, but it was announced again yesterday that Serie A side Atalanta have made their 5th offer to Celtic for Matt O'Reilly. And again, it was rejected. So Atalanta won't sell Copenhagen to Juve until they have a replacement in the door. So they are waiting to sell one of their players to Juventus, and they want to get Matarelli as his replacement. But again, they're taking the piss here. They're not paying what we want for him. And that's five offers they put on the table for Matarelli, all being rejected. And I love that for Celtic, man. Like, stick to your guns. Like, you know, you can get £25 million for him quite easily. And Atalanta are refusing to pay that transfer fee. And to be honest with you, I'd stop negotiating with them. They're taking the piss. They're trying to squeeze any little bit of money out of Celtic, trying to get any best deal possible. We set the intentions pretty early on in the whole transfer dealings that we want £25 million as the bare minimum, and they're still refusing to pay that. So I'll tell them to F off and maybe negotiate with someone else. But again, this is quite interesting now. Things are kind of twisting and turning in this transfer saga, of course. So Brighton are no longer interested in him. Atalanta are refusing to pay what Celtic want for him. Matt O'Reilly himself is pretty happy at Celtic. Is there a world now where we can see Matt O'Reilly be a Celtic player past this transfer window? If that happens, I'll be absolutely buzzing. That'd be an unreal business by Celtic. That'd literally be like a brand new signing to keep Matt O'Reilly at the club. He's our best player by a country mile, in my opinion. And I think maybe reward him with a new contract as well, and set a different release clause in his deal that's higher than £25 million. You snooze, you lose at the end of the day in the transfer window. And I feel like, you know, Brighton are not involved. Atalanta are refusing to pay what they want. He won't go to Southampton because they've literally been in a relegation battle all season. He wants to go to a top tier European club that plays Champions League football. Atalanta can offer that, but they can't offer the money for him. So, look, there could be a world in which Matt O'Reilly stays at Celtic, which would be unreal, and hopefully that can happen. That saves us the ball ache of trying to find a replacement for him in literally 2 weeks of a transfer window. And we know for a fact that whoever we get in to replace him wouldn't be nowhere near as good as him as well. So we'll see how this one develops in the next few days. But Atalanta, there's no report saying they might go back in for him again. With 5 bids put on the table for him, 5 rejected by the club, all signs right now point towards Matt O'Reilly staying at Celtic, which is really, really interesting. And I'm super happy if that is the case. So yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts with regards to the Matt O'Reilly situation. Do you think he might stay at Celtic? As I mentioned, he seems pretty content at Celtic. He seems pretty happy to play at the club. He's not forcing to move out. He's not kicking up a fuss. He wants to wait for the right opportunity, and apparently that's not really shown itself right now for him. So Matt O'Reilly could be a Celtic player for this coming season, which is really, really cool. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below with regards to that. Also, let me know your thoughts with the Adam Idah transfer, £9.5 million in total for him. Do you think Celtic overpaid, or do you think he's worth the money that we put on the table for him? Let me know down below. Make sure you do drop a like on this video also, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.